Yo,
What's happening?
what's happening? How you doing?
Aye, all right. How are you?
Aye, not bad, not bad. Just in the studio.
Aye,
Some
no,
mixed and
I
stuff.
seen that earlier on. So is it like, do you do the studio with the guys for Rubadub? Do you do it like with the Dab J guys?
It's the same guys that do Dab, so it's kind of down underneath the Kingston Bridge in Glasgow.
Aye, it's a fucking setup.
A beach man, innit?
It makes ours look
I
like
know, we've got-
so puny, it's
We've got
ridiculous.
a fucking analog, a TV free.
Okay, that's all you need, man.
We're getting there.
But aye, so Scott, it's weird because we've obviously never done an interview before. It seems like a fucking. But the first thing I wanted to ask is a fry thing. So I remember like 2 years ago or whatever, you posted on Insta about Hush nightclub.
Aye, in Coat Bridge.
Aye, and you were saying about how you get like they wouldn't take you on or something like that because you were.
Aye. So basically, I used to DJ there when I was younger, when I was like 18, just playing like chart music and stuff. But I was trying to kind of play like, I don't know, kind of charty music, but also like housey stuff and that. And then eventually they got rid of me because I wasn't playing like commercial enough for them. Yeah. And then 2 years ago or something like that, they were wanting to get like kind of more underground bookings in. And they got me back. It was just funny that they ditched me years ago and then got me back for like fucking 10 times the fee I was getting back then.
Yeah, I'm from Bells Hill, believe it or not.
Aye, that's close.
And I remember when I seen you post that, I was like, holy shit, he must be fucking from. There's no way somebody from Glasgow is fucking travelling into Hush. You know what I mean?
No, I'm from Airdrie originally, but so Coat Bridge is just right next to it.
Aye. So like. It must have been fucking weird. The only time I ever went to Hush was when I was 17, trying to get into clubs, and like I was too scared to try and go into Glasgow, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go to Coat Bridge and try to get in."
Aye, it's all right, man. It's all right for if you're into like chart music and stuff like that. And then they've got another room, a guy called Armand Gian DJs in there, and he plays like kind of housey stuff, but it's still like quite commercial housey stuff. But it's all right, I guess, if you're from that area.
So like, obviously, you saying that you're from Airdrie. When was it that you sort of moved? I'm guessing do you stay in town now? Do you stay in
Aye, so started going out into clubs and stuff when I was like 17, and then started getting into DJing and stuff, and me and my 3 pals started doing a night in La Cheetah, and then after like 3 years of that, I ended up moving into Glasgow, and I was like 22, I think.
Aye.
And I lived in Glasgow ever since then. So we started the night in La Cheetah called Offbeat. We ran that for like 5 years, and we were like the first people to bring skateboard over to the UK. We booked people like DJ Funk, DJ Sortfet.
They're all like names now. They would have been like.
Our first one was actually Bake and Jackmaster on Christmas, and I didn't really know him at the time, but we ended up getting him for like 200 quid, which is mental. Thinking like what he was normally getting.
Yeah. So you went from you were DJing in La Cheetah. What year was that?
So I think we started that around 2019, maybe.
2009.
No. When I was 19. So... No. When I was 19, so what age would that make? When was that? 2015.
Yeah.
No, 2014 it must have been.
Aye. I think it's weird now because you obviously started in La Cheetah and now you're back at La Cheetah / Room 2.
Aye. So it's the same management, but it's Room 2 I'm in now, but I'm dealing with the same people that I was dealing with when I was running the night.
Yeah,
Full circle.
Room 2's class. I did in Room 2 once, and it was fucking mental. It's one of
it's a great club, man.
A shitty club. I'm sure it like Jumping Jacks or something, was it? Or something like that.
Aye. And then it was a club called Chambra 69 for a while, which was actually really good.
Aye.
And then that shut, and then now it's great. They've got like a big screen and stuff behind the DJ booth, so they can get like visuals on the full wall, which is really cool. And then
when we DJ'd there, we were like, why that we don't fucking deserve a big screen in front of us.
It's a great club. They got a big sound system upgrade and stuff like that as well. And then in Chambra, one of the issues was the floor just got absolutely bogging and wrecked your shoes, so they like treated all the floor and stuff to that. It's a great club, man.
That's decent. So who is it that you've had over for good thing? Was it Sally C?
I've had Sally. I only managed to get 3 down before the fucking Corona happened, but I got Sally, got Claire Fifi, and then Saoirse, and then it went tits up.
This might be another like kind of off-kilter question, but I was snooping on your Insta earlier to work out if you were actual from Coatbridge, so I didn't look like a fucking psycho. But were you any graffiti?
I was, back in the day, I was.
Aye.
Me and my mates used to be into it, not that seriously, but we just to go out, and then when I was younger, got caught for it and ended up going to court, and then I ended up getting away with it because I was just about to start college, I think, and then after that, just kind of fell away from it.
Where did you used to go? I remember like when I was doing, I done graffiti for a bit. And it used to, you know, the bit that, you know where the B&Q is in Coatbridge?
Aye.
You know the bridge that goes over there?
Aye. At Whifflet,
Aye, at Whifflet, just round for that, there was like a railway bridge that was unused.
Aye.
We used to always go up there and like, but I seen as well that Reek was like our shit. Don't know
who?
Reek.
Oh, aye. I know him quite well. His name's Rico. Aye, I know him quite well. He's a good guy, man.
Aye, I'm writing a blog on graffiti now for something, and he's the only one so far that's agreed to be part of it.
Aye.
Aye. But then anyway, back to music. So like, when did it all kind of kick off for you? Was it Boiler Room? Or like...
Aye, basically when we started doing a club night, I was always really into making music. I was in bands and stuff when I was younger, and started making music when we started a club night or just before it, and was making music for a few years, and I had a good few tunes sitting. I was just kind of sending them about like different DJs in Glasgow, and my first record on Dixon Avenue was actually meant to come out on Lachita's label, then it kind of fell through. And then eventually Kenny and Dan that run the label just got back to me and were like, we're up for putting your tunes out if you want. And then put the first record out, and it done quite well. And it just so happened that luckily it was around the same time that the Boiler Room was happening and they were hosting it. So it was just kind of like the stars aligned there, and those two things happened at the same time. And then I just kind of took off from there, which is good.
What was your first release? Was it just part of a VA, or was it?
No. It was well, the first one is Big Miz, was my own record, Good Thing, on Dixon Avenue. It was I think that was in 2015.
The Boiler Room debut as well.
Aye, that was it. So that was my first one, is Big Miz. I had one or two out before that under the name Mirrors, which is where the name Big Miz comes from. And but that was like my first kind of serious release.
You were saying that as an afters when you came up last for Rare.
Mm.
And when we sat there, it was like me and Ham. We were speaking about your name before.
Oh, I actually remember that.
You still have the football top?
Aye. Still got it. It's a belter.
We made one for Liam and one for Claire as well.
Aye.
Yeah, that fell through, but Liam's one is like a full-on Celtic top.
Oh, really? Fuck, that's cool, man.
And then obviously Claire's the Hibs one.
Aye, that's class, man.
So like talking about Aberdeen, like where does Aberdeen rank amongst like the places you play? Because obviously you've played fucking everywhere, probably. I know.
Aye. Aberdeen's mental, man. It's always a great buzz up there.
Aye. I remember the last one. I missed it, but it was like your birthday.
Aye.
I was on the mic. Alright, it's fucking Big Miz's birthday. And for some reason, in my steaming Cockney accent that sometimes comes on when I go on a mic.
Aye, that was great fun, man. Aye, it's always a great night up in Aberdeen. There's always good after parties happening too, man.
Oh, yeah, that's the only reason that anybody fucking knows who we are is because of after parties.
The last one I came up, I ended up playing in a living room somewhere.
Yeah, that was in Spital. That was our
aye.
Obviously, Davey.
That was nuts, man. Fucking Ham was up on his fucking speaker.
Oh yeah.
Talked off, remember?
Yeah. That's that night because the speaker's on there. Yeah, me and Ham were tops off, swinging with our fucking heads.
Aye, it was a good buzz, man.
Yeah, I can remember as well. Somebody told me a story about that where a lassie messaged you to ask for someone else.
Eh?
A lassie messaged you being like, "Are you with Jack Fraser?"
Oh, aye. I was with him too.
I said, yeah,
I was with him. I was like, I had 2 seconds and just snapped a photo of him.
I remember, it was pretty, I can't actually say it. We'll cut this bit out of the interview. But I was flying out. You play the fucking Great Pyramids of Giza? And you're just like, what? I reckon, I mean, you probably won't like this, but that's probably still one of my favourite tunes.
That came out on a wee compilation. I feel it kind of got slept on a wee bit, so I might try and re-release it at some point. Like,
officially. Label that came out on as well. What was it, Glasgow Underground?
Aye, they were doing that at Clyde Built compilation.
Aye.
But I might try and re-release it actually, maybe whack it on Bandcamp or something if they'll
Yeah,
let me.
There's a Mirrors release on one of the Clyde belts as well, isn't there? Like under Mirrors.
Aye.
Yeah,
That was like one of my
like
first.
else or something.
Aye. That was one of my first releases.
Yeah. So like after Boiler Room, would you say that it was like pretty rapid that you started doing like a lot? Would you say that you were doing a lot better after Boiler Room?
Aye, definitely, man. Like, there's no denying that the opportunities that doing something like that can give you. And I was lucky that just my record was just coming out at that point in time, and Kenny and Dan just whacked us on kind of near the end. So by the time I went on, the club was fucking going mental. But I done really well, man. And after that, the gigs just kind of started coming in. At the start, I didn't have an agent. I was sorting it out myself. Then I had a few ones where I'd like, people were like, "Do you want a hotel?" And I'm like, "No, it's fine. No, you can sleep you can sleep in my grand's couch or come in after, whatever." And I remember went over Ireland one time and just feel I was dying to go to bed, and fucking ended up all night and then straight to the airport. But then eventually, Boom Monk Ben, he was a DJ in Glasgow at the time, and I was sending him music. He was actually one of the first to kind of start playing my music out. But he started, he was an agency with Elastic. And then he kind of went off on his own. And I remember New Year's in La Chita one night. I was like, "Ben, come on, you need to help me, man. I don't know what I'm doing here." Like,
is that Field?
Aye, so that's Field.
Yeah.
But I was pure doing his nothing one night, and then like a few weeks later, he messaged me and he was like, "Right, let's do it, man. I'll help you sort out your gigs and stuff." And then that was it from there. Like, once you've got an agent kind of looking after you, man, they can put the feelers out and get the gigs in.
I remember as well, there was a point on Insta in the past, I don't know, you'll probably help me when it was, but I remember you put up, I don't know if it was a story, and you were like, "Oh, last day of work today, going music full time."
Aye. So that must have been not last January, but the January before that.
That must be a mental feeling.
Aye, it was good. But I quite enjoyed my job. I worked for the trade union, the BMA, the doctors' union, and I quite enjoyed it. Aye, but then it got to the point when I was getting gig offers in for like Wednesdays and Thursdays and stuff, and I was like, I did eventually go. I went down to part time for a bit, and then I was just thinking like I could probably survive just doing the gigs on their own. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just take the punt, man, and go for it."
That's decent.
Did you get a bit fucked over with the sort of when this all happened, or did you keep your finances in check?
Aye, so I got a wee bit for the government, but so obviously so it's not a lot to be honest, but I think they've just extended it now for November to March next year, so I should get another wee bit. But I'm starting to do mixing and mastering for people now, and that's giving me a wee bit extra money, so should be enough.
Have you been getting a bit with that? Like,
aye, so I've got a few jobs in, but that plus the government money, plus I'm doing the odd delivery shift and stuff now, so should be enough to kind of see me through, hopefully. Yeah.
I think everybody's doing an odd delivery shift now.
Aye, exactly, man. But it should be enough to see me through. So it has been shite, but I think it should be sound down. This vaccine news today, man, it's promising.
Exactly.
I know.
It's even one of the top scientists saying today. Someone asked them on Radio 4 if they Oh, can you still hear me?
Aye, still hear you.
Aye. Sorry, my phone's just come up saying no battery. One of the top scientists on Radio 4 today, she asked him if life's going to go back to normal in spring, and he was like, "I'm pretty confident that it will be." So it's good news, man.
You can book you for then.
Aye, let's do it, man. I'm fucking dying for it.
I think Rory would kill us.
Yeah, I suppose. But the
I think you're probably up there with like, I would say you're probably Rory's like prize jewels.
Yeah. Aye, well, I think I've been up about fucking 6 or 7 times in the past like 3 years.
Yeah. You drove up last time, did you?
Aye, I can't remember exactly why I drove, but
you missed your train.
Eh?
You not
missed your train? Aye. There was one where I missed my train and drove up. Aye. It's not that far, man. It's like 3.5 hours to Glasgow.
Nah, easy. So, like, the other big thing I think, apart from the Boiler Room, was probably the Build Destroy album.
Aye.
Did that give you a big kick?
Aye, so that came about I had quite a lot of those tracks sitting on my computer, and then after the first two EPs on Dabs, I was just sending Kenny and Dan a lot of tracks, and I was kind of using them as feedback, and then eventually they were just like, "Right, we've got like 8 or 9 here that we're up for putting out. Do you want to put it out as an album?" And I was kind of more inclined to put them out as 2 separate EPs, so I ended up doing it as like an album, but kind of split in half. So that's where like the Build Destroy is. So like one half of it's kind of housey stuff, and one half of it's kind of techno stuff. And then that was them. I wasn't really up for doing an album, and they kind of pressured me into it, and I'm glad they did, man, because it worked out well for me.
Yeah.
I remember it sold out in fucking Rub-a-Dub for ages.
Aye, done quite well, man.
They were posting all about restocks and stuff like that like, every time it came out, and they were like, "We just picked the record in the day," so that must be a fucking mental feeling.
Aye, it's a great buzz, man. I'm glad.
Oh,
Just
is that
play.
unreleased?
Oh, it's a unreleased banger to it. I know it's a good feeling, man. It went down pretty well, and a lot of the people that I speak to out in gigs and stuff, they're always like, "Oh, that was amazing, man." So it's a good buzz, man.
Yeah. We wanted to speak to you a bit about. We noticed obviously you're skating a lot.
Yep.
And I guess you always sort of have. What's your
Yeah.
What's the sort of skate scene like in Glasgow?
Aye,
How is
Glasgow.
it linked to your music, and how is it
Yeah.
linked to music?
Glasgow's got a great skate scene, man. That's how I met all my friends when I was younger, man, when I was like 12, 13, out in Airdrie. And then we used to go up the skate park in Airdrie a lot, but in Glasgow, the skate scene is just amazing, man. It's just a big, massive group of people that you always know are going to be there and so friendly and stuff like that. And the skate scene's always had a connection to music as well. I think because just like
You're choking to get that tune in there, by the way.
We get it. It's a good one. It's a good one.
It's because I'm leaning on my keyboard here. I'm going to move it. But I think just because it's skateboarding tends to be full of like creatives as well, so it's kind of makes sense that it's going to have a link with music. But I think recently, but like because of like Supreme and stuff like that, and Palace, I think that there's more of a connection now with like skating and like dance music and house music because they're like using house tracks and like edits and stuff like that, which is good. It's more people who buy the records in it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why there's none left in the shelves at Rub-a-Dub. Well, see with the talking about skating as well and Airdrie to a point. I remember I went through a stage of getting like well into skate edits, and I watched all the fucking like Baker videos and shit. All the things that everybody does. I can remember I followed fucking, I think it's your mate Jordan Coleman.
Aye, he's amazing, man.
Mate, all his edits are fucking hilarious. He does your Baker style where it's like actual skating cut in with just mad shit that he's obviously seen when he's out and about.
Aye. That's like one of my best pals. So I met him when I was like 12, 13 up at Airdrie Skate Park, man. And then it was him and someone else that we did the club night with in La Cheetah. I said it's a good, and he's a fucking amazing skater as well, man.
Was he? Yeah. Who was the other one you done it with?
Joe McGee. He kind of keeps himself off social media and stuff like that. But he was highly regarded as a DJ in Glasgow, and then just kind of stopped going out. He's got away and stuff now, but yeah, he's a pure urban myth in Glasgow and the DJ scene.
I remember as well. One night I was at La Cheetah. I don't know whose night it was for. It might actually have been one of yours, but I was at La Cheetah one night, and what's his name? It's Watermelon.
Aye.
I was outside smoking a fag, and I think he was steaming it. He was just coming up and talking to me, and I was like, "Oh, I DJ up in Aberdeen." He was like, "Oh, fuck off, I'm a DJ as well." And I was like, we were having a conversation, and I think it was one of those nights we ended up going back to Checkmate.
Aye, class.
He just popped up with fucking records, and he was absolutely steaming, just playing records at Checkmate.
Aye, that was a great buzz, man. That was it was me and him and like our other pals that kind of started Checkmate. And then we all kind of ended up falling away from it. Like one of my mates moved out to London and stuff like that. But for the few months that we were doing it, man, it was fucking amazing, unreal place for an afterwards.
What was it that happened at the end of Check? Was it that person that got in with the Daily Record?
I think there was some journalist went in and then did that big piece about it being a pure drug den or something like that. And then I think the post after that it was just heavy-handed with the police. So I think it's not happening anymore anyway.
Yeah. Shite. That was always one of there was Commerce and Checkmate with the two that I used to.
Aye, Checkmate was a great place for a party, man. It had so many belters in there.
I remember, talking about graffiti. I remember the guy that ran. Well, I say ran Checkmate. It was the guy that said that he ran Checkmate. It was like he said to me once. I was having a conversation with him, and I was absolutely steaming, like I could barely stand up. And he was like, "What is it you do? What is it you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm into like graffiti and that." And he was like, "Oh, if you're into graffiti, we like noodles in here. Come
aye.
We can do stuff." I was like, "I'm alright, mate. I wouldn't want anywhere near this place tomorrow."
Aye. The main guy that kind of was in charge of it, he was dying for people to come in and paint it, which is good because it ended up having quite a lot of good artwork on the walls.
Aye, it was cool. So, like, did you have any gigs planned or that before everything went to shit? You were meant to do Belfast, weren't you? I'm pretty sure I was going to come over for it with the Test Press guys.
Aye. I was meant to do Belfast with Mark Blair, which would have been amazing. I had a couple in, but now I I was meant to do London next week, which is getting rescheduled, I think, to sometime in December. So there is still
That was a scream, wasn't it?
Aye. So there is still wee things happening, but I'm just choking to get back
Which
to
one got
normality now.
rescheduled?
Eh?
Oh, the fucking lockdown.
Aye, because of the London lockdown, man.
Yeah. But aye.
Do you know the Test Best Boys?
Aye, I think I've met them once or twice.
Dan skates as well.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Their tunes are amazing, man.
Yeah.
They're
It's good.
so
It'd be good to see once gigs kick off again, like see their kind of trajectory, man, see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel sorry for folk like that. They were just on the upswing.
Yeah.
And then,
Aye, definitely, man.
You know what I mean? But yeah, because they just moved down to Glasgow as well. It was, you know,
Oh,
what I mean?
have
They moved for ages. Then they moved down to Glasgow because they were like everything's sort of starting to kick off, and then.
Aye, it's a shame for people that were just kind of just breaking through, man. It's just that in the music industry, for stuff to happen, like the stars need to align and stuff kind of needs to like play off each other, and then so people that were at that pivotal point in their career, and when all this happens, it's a shame for them. But hopefully, when it all starts back up again, they can just pick up where they left off.
Yeah. But do you not think that the prices for DJs is going to be fucking nuts? Like in terms of the fact that do you think people will still be fussed if they see a booking or if they see just like local DJs?
Aye, I think a lot of the people that had crazy fees before are going to have a wee bit of a reality check and like
Big time.
bring their fees down a bit. Aye, man. So, but then I think people will just be choking to get out and DJ that they won't care.
Yeah.
Like if no one's making money then now, so you can't really get pissy about money if you're going from nothing to actually getting booked again.
At the bars we DJ'd at, I was like to him, I was like, honestly, like I know you've been closed, but and it's like it's usually like 150 quid for a night. And I was like, I will do it for £50.
Yeah.
I just
want to get back in clubs, man. To be honest.
Yeah, it's funny. I can remember when we were getting paid like 150 quid a night for playing 3 hours at a bar. We were always like, it's a bit of a nightmare. I'm a bit hungover. Can't be arsed going and playing for 150 quid for free.
I know, man. Now you're fucking jumping
like,
the chance, man.
Get me out.
I think my phone battery might die here, lads. I'm on 3%.
I know. We'll cut it out here anyway. I think we've done about like 20 minutes or so. So we'll get your tune fired in. And what tune is it that you went for?
I'm going to go for Omar S, The Ship Baby. Jack
belter.
I've already got it.
Jack and piano number. So cheers for having us on, Trips. It was good, bud.
Cheers, man.
We're doing it, Chris.
Right, catch.
Right,
Catch you later, man.
See you later.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.